Hello and welcome to Policy Watch, your packed snapshot of the week's biggest business stories, their context, their relevance and policy impact. I'm Govindraj Ethiraj. The government has launched 3 gold investment schemes this week aimed at curbing gold imports and mobilizing some 20,000 tons stashed in India's temples, shrines and households. National gold coins and bars of 24-carat purity are some of the other new introductions to the market. Now, the schemes have wide-ranging economic implications and we'll talk about that just after this report.
The announcement comes just before Diwali, considered an auspicious time for gold purchases. Under the gold monetization scheme, investors can deposit their gold with banks and earn up to 2.5% interest, but the gold will have to be melted and converted into coins and bars for valuation. The investors will also be required to complete Know Your Customer or KYC norms and disclose the source of the gold.
किसी ने कोई बहुत बड़ा जलाशय बनाया हो, डैम बनाया हो, अरबों खरबों रुपए खर्च किए हो, लेकिन अगर कैनाल नेटवर्क न हो और किसानों के पास पहुंचेगा नहीं तो क्या करना उसको? ये हमारा 20,000 टन सोने की यही हाल है जी. हमें इसको राष्ट्र की शक्ति में परिवर्तित करना है.
Under the gold bond schemes, investors can buy gold bonds and earn guaranteed annual interest of 2.75%. There's an investment ceiling of 500 grams with a minimum 5-year lock-in period. Interest accruals are taxable under the Income Tax Act.
Expectations were that the rate of interest being low, return being low, it will be tax-free. So the people need not hassle on this issue. But as we see the scheme which is being notified, the rate of interest, though they are being around 2.75, which is there, but it is being made taxable.
The aim is curbing gold imports and mobilizing domestic gold for productive purposes by bringing it into formal financial channels. In 2014-15, India imported 900 tons of gold that put huge pressure on India's current account deficit. In 2012-13, India's current account deficit had gone up nearly $90 billion or a record 4.8% of the GDP, forcing the government to impose restrictions on gold imports. Krishnanand Tripaঠি's report for Rajya Sabha television.
Well, joining me now are Ajay Bagga, Executive Chairman of OPC Asset Solutions, Keyur Shah, CFO of Muthoot Papachan Group, Mohit Kamboj, President of the India Bullion and Jewellers Association. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. So, let me begin with you, Ajay. So, gold has always been a very precious but illiquid asset in this country. So, are these moves, these 3 steps, likely to begin the process of unlocking value?
I think it is a beginning, and to understand from a macro perspective, Govind, 3-4 things. One, we have huge amounts of gold. It's not a poor country. Estimates are about 20,000 to 22,000 tons of gold held in Indian trusts, temple trusts, as well as Indian households. Nearly 1,000 tons we are importing every year. Huge impact on our current account deficit because 1.7% of GDP is the amount of gold imported and 1.4% is your current account deficit. Right. So if you didn't import gold, today you would be having a current account surplus. Right. Second big part is that people have traditionally invested in gold because of the strength of the dollar. So if you see in the last 5 years, the rupee has fallen 47% against the dollar and gold has appreciated in rupee terms 28%. Right. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that people keep putting in that gold though in rupee terms it keeps appreciating. And third is the linkage between consumer price inflation and gold, which is also there are enough studies showing that the more you keep buying gold, the more the consumer price inflation keeps going up. Okay,
so which is the cause and which is the effect?
Buying of gold. Okay, is the effect.
Great. So Keyur, your firm lends to for gold. Tell us, what's the consumer sense that you're getting? I mean, in general first, and at this point, at this time, and what could the scheme or the set of schemes do?
See, I think for Indians, gold is the most time-tested asset class, and you're looking at mass market. I think more than 90% don't have access to the modern instruments of investments, be it stock markets, equities, mutual funds. That's where they invest or save in gold and silver, right? And that's an age-old thing. I don't think it's going to go away so easily. I think the scheme, what it does, and which I agree with what Ajay was mentioning about, the macroeconomic effect and the import of gold having on the current account deficit. I think this is the first time any government has given a clear directive to the gold industry, wherein we should reduce our over dependence on imports and tap in the locker gold, so-called locker gold. Okay. from a retail perspective, now consumers who have gold, okay, they have different needs. If they need to monetize it, they're currently doing it already through gold loan NBFCs like us, Muthoot FinCorp. But there are a lot of people who also want to sell it off to achieve some life milestones. So they want to buy a house, they want to send their kids for education. For them, this becomes a great opportunity that, okay, whatever gold I have, instead of just keeping it idle and having these fears of safety, security, paying the locker fees month on year on year, why don't I just deposit that with the government?
Yeah, but you also said that there is seems to be a slight contradiction because people are in general averse to financial instruments, whatever the underlying asset might be.
No, see, that is because they don't have access. The problem is access.
Yeah, so therefore I'm saying, so if they don't have access.
Yeah, so now, in a way, see, it may take many years for everybody to get access, right? How many PAN card numbers are there? How many demat accounts are there? It may take years, but currently gold is already there. So immediately, at least they can monetize that. They are doing that through gold loan NBFCs, but this is a chance if they want to sell it or they want to deposit, they don't want to sell it, they just want to keep it for some time, at least they bring it out. This scheme aims to bring out the locker gold into the formal system. The consumer also benefits by earning interest as well as doing away with all the risk involved into the safety.
So we're going to talk about both this bond scheme and the locker gold. So Mohit, what's your sense? I mean, do you feel people are likely to shift to non-physical assets or financial assets as this combination of schemes gets going?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं सरकार को धन्यवाद दूंगा कि सरकार ने जो नेगेटिव सेक्टर में गोल्ड इंडस्ट्री थी, ज्वेलर्स को हेल्प करने के लिए मोदी जी ने अपने भाषण में भी 5 तारीख को ये बात बोली कि गोल्ड मोनेटाइजेशन स्कीम जो डम गोल्ड देश में है उसको दोबारा अगर लोग उस सरकार में डिपॉजिट करते हैं और सरकार में बैंकों में डिपॉजिट होने के बाद जो ज्वेलर्स को शॉर्टफॉल रहता है गोल्ड लोन का, वो गोल्ड लोन वहाँ से वो फुलफिल कर सकते हैं। उसके वो होने के कारण करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट और जो गोल्ड इंपोर्ट है उसमें भी काफ़ी सहयोग मिलेगा सरकार को। साथ ही साथ सरकार जो बॉन्ड की स्कीम लेके आई, हमने पहले भी देखा है कि लोगों का गोल्ड में दिलचस्पी हमेशा इन्वेस्टमेंट की रही है और इस बार सरकार उसके साथ इंटरेस्ट भी बॉन्ड के ऊपर दे रही है। आने वाले समय में बॉन्ड एक बहुत ही बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण स्कीम नजर आएगी सरकार के लिए और काफ़ी इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट सरकार को आने वाले समय में होगा। फिलहाल सरकार 50 टन बॉन्ड को लेके मार्केट में आई है, लेकिन ये 50 टन बहुत जल्दी लोग सब्सक्राइब कर लेंगे, बॉन्ड खरीद लेंगे और इनको सरकार को फिर इसका बढ़ा के नया बॉन्ड इशू करना पड़ेगा।
Mohit, what you're saying is that you expect the response to be very good, but have you been talking to anyone? Is your sense that people are likely to go for the scheme the way you're saying it right now? Or do you think that they might have some concerns still?
सर 5 तारीख को लॉन्च होने के बाद लगभग 1000 से 1500 कॉल्स तो हमको हमारी संस्था में आ चुके हैं कि ये स्कीम को आगे कैसे लेके जाने के, बॉन्ड की अवेलेबिलिटी कैसी होगी। लोग काफ़ी क्यूरियस हैं बॉन्ड की स्कीम जानने के लिए। और रहा सवाल गोल्ड मोनेटाइजेशन का, वो भी लोग देख रहे हैं कि गोल्ड मोनेटाइजेशन की स्कीम के अंदर ज्वेलरी डिपॉजिट करने में, गोल्ड डिपॉजिट करने में क्या बेनिफिट्स रहेंगे, सोर्सेज कैसे रहेंगे, रिफाइनरी के पास कैसे अप्रोच करना है। पब्लिक काफ़ी क्यूरियस है, देश की जनता काफ़ी क्यूरियस है ये दोनों स्कीम को लेते हुए कि दोनों स्कीम से क्या बेनिफिट वो उठा सकते हैं।
Okay, so Ajay, it seems to be that the response is very strong. What are the hurdles ahead?
See, hurdles are manifold. This is the third.
And let me also add to that question. So, is the response from the same people that we want those to respond, or is it from the same people who are in any case savvy about investing in financial assets and so on?
That's a very good point, and in fact UBS just did a study and what they found that people who own gold already are tracking such schemes, are very keen on the scheme, but nearly 80% people were not aware of the scheme. This is dated, this is pre the Mann Ki Baat mention and pre November 5th. Right. Only 20% were aware. I'm sure government will now roll out the advertisement and more will be aware. The big thing is, Govind, it's nearly $1 trillion of gold holding. You have 50% of the economy which is held as gold. Look at the central government budget, it is only 18 lakh crores. 60 lakh crores is the gold holding. Sure. So if we can monetize it and bring those funds into the economy, a small portion, what Keyur Bhai said, not all will come. Very true. I'm saying even if 10% starts coming into the economy over the next 5 years, again a UBS calculation is a 1% of GDP change in the gold consumption leads to a 0.2% increase in the GDP. That's the kind of sensitivity, and we'll get capital, we'll get more productive assets because you're just putting gold in. You think in rupee terms it's going up, but it's an asset which is not earning.
Right. Okay, quickly, so if you were to compare this scheme or this set of schemes with your existing schemes, how would you compare and what would you push?
See, 3 things which were launched by the government. The sovereign gold bond scheme, I think with Mohit also mentioned, my view is that it's going to be successful. It needs to go the Kisan Vikas Patra way.
Okay.
It needs to be flooded into the market. So currently banks and post offices are allowed. I think they need to open it up to jewelers, NBFCs, they all should be selling it. That the households will not refrain from taking. For example, see, even jewelry consumers, people say, okay, this is only meant for people who buy coins in bars. No, if you look at average household, the housewife buys 1-2 grams every month for years, and then she converts into jewelry. So for her, buying, instead of buying physical 1-2 grams, she buys these bonds, and then after 5-7 years, whenever she's got enough gold, she can convert to jewelry. So I think that's successful. The coin which was launched, the India gold coin, I think that is excellent idea, because it will do away with a lot of imported gold coins, which is roughly 40-50 tons are imported every year. So that has a direct impact on CAD.
Third, but we've had gold coins in the past, right?
Yeah, most of them are from Switzerland, right? And then you have localized coins. Now, localized coins, I think they always question, are they standardized? The banks are selling.
And they don't buy
Swiss
back.
gold.
I mean, they only sell it to you.
So now this at least guarantees it's a government coin, so buyback value also will be very transparent. So that the third thing is the gold monetizing scheme, which is where I think the success factor lies on two accounts. One is at the ground level, what is the level of participation of collection centers? Currently, only BIS hallmark centers have been authorized, which is rightly so, but they are not enough. And they are all B2B institutions. They need to transform into becoming B2C. I think Prime Minister Modi mentioned in his speech on 5th was, I think the highest trust factor is with the local jewelers as well as gold loan NBFCs. They also should be authorized to become collection centers after following a due diligence process of being certified. But I think that is critical. And second, in the gold monetizing scheme, it is the banks who are supposed to come out with the details. See, the sovereign bond and the coin, RBI and the government has launched. But the monetizing scheme, the bank yet has to launch it and come out with details in terms of commercial.
So, Ajay, if we were to now spin forward, what are the key sort of challenges and opportunities ahead?
This is the
both from a macro as well as a
This is the third time such a gold scheme has come. A 1962 one came where they had to bring in a gold control order. It became so successful because 6% interest was shown and people started hoarding gold. Last scheme was the gold savings scheme where only 15 tons came in 15 years. So it was a non-starter, 0.75%, only SBI was so distribution was the issue. This is very well thought out. And if you see the linkages, government first launched the gold loan scheme for jewelers. So any gold collected can be given to the jewelers for use. One is that. Second, they've done the Jan Dhan Yojana. So about 19 crore accounts opened. And next step is you can open demat accounts for them where they can hold sovereign bond, sovereign gold bonds.
So you're saying financial inclusion is at the other end of the chain.
So it's a very well thought out. I would say from a policy perspective, well thought out. Scheme has been thought out. Now we have to get the distribution execution done. And some tax angles are there which need to be ironed out.
Okay. Keyur, between other financial assets and these assets, what are you recommending?
Gold.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've been a student of gold all through. But no, more seriously, it is the only, as I said, time-tested liquid asset which Indians believe in as masses. And that belief is not going to go away very easily because it's very culturally
and all of this really strengthens that.
Culturally, and it strengthens it and it's giving the right direction. Right? So far, people have invested or saved in gold and they will, but at least this gold is now being channelized in the right direction.
And you feel that it's remunerative from a tax point of view? There are no, I mean, people are not going to get put off by the fact that there is a capital gain.
See, those who want to avoid paying taxes, they may, but that's not the way forward, right? The government directive is also very clear. Please, it's a tax-friendly environment they want to build, and everybody has to fall in line. So
I think people respond is my question.
Hopefully they should. And if you look at it, most of them are 90% I said are mass consumers. They either don't fall under the tax bracket or they're continuing to pay taxes very honestly.
Okay, so anyway, it's a good step. I mean, hopefully all these things will come into place and people will fundamentally want to come into the formal system and thus help improve finances for themselves as well as for the government. It's well thought out, right? We've run out of time. We need to go into a break, but coming up on the other side, we talk about the new draft aviation policy. Stay with us.